hell of a, she's so fine. Hell of a, blows my mind. Hell of a, lights my day.
What's good, guys? Today is Thursday, August the 13th, 2020. And my recent video regarding the Hennessy bottle with the handle on it kind of led me back down this path again. So I wanted to bring attention to this. Let's look at this. Again, I'm just looking at one thing in this statement. I feel like it's just the best way to do it because there's so many inconsistencies that if we just focus on one thing at a time, we might be able to get somewhere. Alright. So this is Bree's interview with Detective Anthony Diakova. Alright. And it says, prior to getting to the hotel, they picked up a Bluetooth speaker for the party. Can't zoom in and out like I want to. Alcohol, large bottle of Hennessy cognac, unknown exact size, from a liquor store near the intersection of Kedzie and Franklin, later determined to be Franklin Food and Liquor, and cannabis. Alright. It says, after picking up the aforementioned items, the group headed towards the Crown Plaza Hotel. Now that's Bree. This is Monifa's statement to Detective Anthony Diakova. After picking them up, they also picked up a Bluetooth speaker for the party, alcohol from a local liquor store, later identified as Franklin Food and Liquor, and cannabis. Blank stated they picked up a large bottle of Hennessy, unknown exact size, and Rippin' energy drink. After picking up those items, the group headed to the Crown Plaza Hotel in Rosemont. Sound familiar? Yes. Okay, so the police eventually venture over to Franklin Food and Liquor. Alright. They went there on September the 19th, 2017 at 10:45 a.m. And this was Detective Rushanfaker and Detective Koletsos. Well, they actually went to the home of the night manager. Let me correct that. Alright. Says detectives conducted a door knock at Blank's residence in an attempt to speak with him. When he answered the door, he was advised by detectives that he was not in custody and was free to leave at any time from his own home, or could speak with us if he wished. He then let us in his living room. Blank was then asked what his position was at Franklin Food and Liquor, 501 North Kedzie, number B, Chicago, Illinois, 60612. He stated that he was the night manager. He stated that he has been with the store for approximately 9 years. Of the last 6 months, he had been working the night shift. 1600 to 0200 hours. That's his shift. When asked if he had been working on the evening of September the 8th, 2017, he stated that he had been. He was then asked if he worked behind the counter. He stated that he doesn't work behind the counter unless a cashier was on break. I asked Blank if he recalled the names of the cashiers who were working on Friday, September the 8th, 2017. He was only able to provide 2 first names, Blank and Blank. He was also unable to provide us with any contact information. When asked about checking of IDs, he stated that Franklin Food and Liquor's policy was to check IDs twice. Once by security outside as customers enter the store, and then by a cashier at the time of purchase. He then stated that the store will not... Hold on. Lost my place here. Okay, then stated that the store has at least 2 security guards working between 1800 and 0700 hours. He then stated that the store will not allow persons under the age of 21 to be in the store after 2100 hours. But before is okay, in other words. Detectives asked if he knew who was working security on 8 September 17. He was able to recall that blank may have been working. We asked him if he was willing to view a photo lineup of individuals that were believed to have purchased alcohol at Franklin Food and Liquors. He stated that he would be willing to view photo lineups. Skokie Police Department Detective Marino, number 216, came to his house and served as an independent administrator for a recorded photo lineup via laptop. After he viewed the recorded photo lineups, we thanked him for his time and cleared from the scene. Detective Marino stated that he would forward our department a copy of his supplemental report at a later date. Nothing further, 1459, which is Detective Coletsos. So Detective Coletsos is the one that's doing all the talking here. Alright, now let's look at this just a little bit further. So this night manager, who has been with the store for approximately 9 years, and the past 6 months of this had been working the night shift, could not recall the full names of the 2 cashiers that were working that night. Was only able to provide 2 first names and had no contact information. That in itself is a little bit strange. Then goes on to say that the IDs are checked twice. Once out in the parking lot by the security guard, and then once at the time of purchase. And also states that anyone under 21 can't be in the store past 2100 hours. So not only did this group of young underage people go to this liquor store and purchase alcohol, they got past the security guard, were able to enter the store, and then further were able to purchase the alcohol. Now, it doesn't say whether they went through the drive-thru, which is a whole nother ball of wax, or if they actually entered the store. I don't even know if it has a drive-thru, but that's not mentioned at all. Then they go to an extreme amount of trouble for this. They call in a neighboring police department detective who comes on the scene with a laptop and has this gentleman to go through photos. Alright. But before that, they asked if he knew who was working security. So if this happened the way they think it did, you got one guy out in the parking lot, a cashier, and the night manager is also there. So there's 3 people. And the least likely to have had contact with these girls would be the night manager. The security guard would have had contact with them, and so would the cashier. And only if the cashier was on break would the night manager have had contact with them, okay? However, it says he was able to recall that blank may have been working security. We asked him, this gentleman, if he was able to view the photo lineups of individuals that were believed to have purchased alcohol at Franklin Food and Liquor. Well, if he had nothing to do with any of it and didn't even run into these girls, what good is his information going to be? All right? Regardless, though, they had him view these lineups on this laptop. And it goes on to say that it was a recorded photo lineup via laptop, all right? And then the detective said that Detective Marino with Skokie would forward the copy at a later date of what this gentleman saw, all right? All right, then they interview this security from Franklin Food and Liquor. Now, don't forget, we have two security involved here. We have the security guard from Franklin Food and Liquor, who works for Reliance Security Services, and then we have the hotel security guard, or guards. All right, so this is the liquor store security guard. All right, it says they asked him to confirm his address and contact information, which he advised me that he had just moved. I asked him who he currently works for. He stated that he works for Reliance Security Services for the past 7 years. He stated that his company had him reassigned permanently to Franklin Food and Liquors, 501 North Kedzie, number B, with a shift Thursday, Friday, and Saturday between 1800 hours and 0700 hours. I then asked him if the guards are inside or outside. He stated that they are outside the store about 90% of the time. This is to assist with traffic control during heavy peak hours and to help diffuse potential situations and avoid conflicts between rival gangs. I asked him if checking IDs is part of the security guard's duties. He stated that they would only check IDs if they believed the subjects were underage. He then continued that the owners, managers, and clerks would check IDs at the time of purchase at the counter per Illinois law. I asked if he recalls any of the customers that were at the store. He stated that he recognizes the regular customers that come to the store during his shift hours. I asked him who the cashiers may have been on the night of 8 September 17. He stated that he believed that the two cashiers were Mo and Pops. He stated that those are nicknames and that he doesn't know their actual names. When asked if he might be willing to view photo lineups to see if persons may have been in the store on 8 September 2017, he stated yes. When asked about the store's video surveillance camera system, he stated that he is not familiar on how to operate. He knows that video is deleted, by the 6th day due to there not being enough memory in the server. When asked if Jenkins may have been in the store, he thought that it may have been possible for her to have been there. He mentioned a shooting that had occurred in the past 2 to 3 weeks in which Jenkins may have known both the male offender and the female victim. He was unable to provide any further specifics about the incident, but stated that it was in the news. I concluded the interview and had Parkridge Police Department officer Tracy, no last name, or unless that's a last name, no first name, administer photo lineups. See his supplemental report for further. Nothing further. 1459, which is Detective Coletzo's number. Alright, let's look over this again. So he is permanently assigned to Franklin Food and Liquors, but it doesn't say when that permanent assignment started. Alright, but that he had worked for that security company for 7 years. He has a different story than the night manager, though. Because he says that he's outside, or security is outside 90% of the time. And they're there to assist with traffic control, diffuse potential problems and conflicts with rival gangs. They then go on to ask him if it's part of the security guard's duties to check IDs. He said only if they appeared underage. Alright? Went on to say that per Illinois law, the owners, managers, and clerks, including that night manager that they just spoke to, would check IDs at the time of purchase at the counter. Alright? He gives the nicknames, they don't redact them, Mo and Pops. That's the two clerks that were working that night. That's their nicknames. That's not their actual names, obviously. Alright. Then goes on to say, yes, he doesn't mind looking at a photo lineup. Has no problem with that. But goes on to say that their video is deleted on the 6th day due to not being enough memory. Can understand that too. This is probably a pretty standard thing for, a smaller business that is operating off of a surveillance system that's not really too high tech. Alright? Just put it like that. When asked if Jenkins may have been in the store, he thought that it may have been possible for her to have been there. So he's familiar with her. Alright? That tells me right there that he's familiar with Kanika. Because he goes on to mention a shooting that had occurred in the past 2 to 3 weeks in which she, Kanika, may have known both the male offender and female victim. It doesn't say may have witnessed this incident, may have done anything else. It just says may have known both the male offender and female victim. Alright. Let's pay attention to the wording here. Says he was... It's funny though, because it says that he was unable to provide any further specifics about the incident, but stated that it was in the news. Well, he knew enough about it to remember Kanika, to know that it was a male offender and a female victim, and that Jenkins knew them, that Kanika knew them, and that it happened in the past 2 to 3 weeks. But hey, I don't remember any further specifics about it. Then this Parkridge police officer, Tracy, gave him this photo lineup thing. Alright. So that's the security guard from the liquor store. Alright, so this is West Franklin Boulevard. And of course we're facing against the one-way. Alright. But this is Franklin Food and Liquor. How it looks off of Franklin. And as you can see, there's no room back there for a drive-thru. Looks like there's a little sidewalk that might lead to that building. But there is no drive-thru, according to this view. So let's go up here to the intersection of Franklin and Kedzie. Alright, this is North Kedzie. And this is Franklin Food and Liquor. This is their signage off of Kedzie. It looks like they have one ingress and one egress. So one entrance and one exit. It's all the same. Alright. There's a truck out here that looks to be delivering liquor. Looks like a Miller Lite truck. But this is the view of the building. So it's a brick building. Not a whole lot of parking space. But it just looks like a typical little corner store, liquor store. All right. And that's important because, number one, that tells us that they had to go in. There wasn't any drive-through that they could have purchased the alcohol through. So they had to go in that store. Now, these are some pictures off of Google, just of Franklin Food and Liquor. And this is the outside of the front door, or the main door, rather. It says no loitering, no drinking alcohol, no soliciting, private property, no trespassing. There's another shot of the parking lot, and the very small parking lot it is. And this is an image of the desk, or the cashier place. Alright. And we're going to look at it a little deeper. Alright, so this is the side of the building. Store hours, we thank you. And they have like a scrolling marquee sign. I think I can barely read. It says store hours is daytime, of course. Monday through Friday, whatever. But they do have a scrolling little marquee out on the side of the building. That's the inside. So they have quite a bit of liquor. Some snacks to go along with it, because when you're drinking, you want to eat. That looks to be their wine section. Again, there's the door. A little vodka. There's their coolers. Alright, so if we take a closer look at this cash register area. So they're behind a glass, which, is kind of rare for me to see because I'm in Western Kentucky. We don't have that stuff. We do now because of COVID, but and it's just plastic. Or, plastic. But this is, something that when I go to like Louisville or somewhere like that, I'll see, people behind glass. And I understand it. Now, the only thing that's on this glass, sign-wise here, it's a customer pricing notice, a cash discount notice. This is pay by cash and save. It says nothing about IDs. There's signage on here about what they accept as far as payment. And you can see how close this gentleman is to the wall. So, I don't know if there's another part of that glass or hard plastic or whatever that is on the other side that may have something. And even on the counter itself, like in Kentucky, we have to post. We have all kinds of signage in our liquor stores about being 21, etc. But you don't see that here, and that's kind of strange, but different, I should say. Not strange, different. Alright. You can also see behind the desk, he's got the crown, he's got a jack, he's got some of the good stuff back behind him. And you can also see there is the Hennessy behind him. Not saying they don't have any on the shelf. Not saying that at all. You can see the Remy Martin. But they do have Hennessy behind the cash register. So I don't know if this is something that somebody would have had to have handed them. Like they would have had to have gotten actually from the cashier. Or if this is something that was found on the shelves. But regardless, and their top shelf stuff is obviously on the top shelf. You got your Jose Cuervo, your Crown, Maker's Mark, all that good stuff. So, I don't know that that's not something that the cashier would have had to have handed them to begin with from jump. So that really throws an extra little curveball in there. Yeah, that kind of threw me off a little bit. Not gonna lie about that. There's some other bottles of Hennessy there that you can see plainly. Some in boxes, some in not in boxes. You know, you got your special edition bottles, etc. Alright. I just wanted to show you guys, because for me, it's easier when I see something, I can understand it better. That's just how I am. So, now that we've seen the actual liquor store inside and out, now we can kind of put a visual with this, okay? Alright, so what I've done is I've taken the incident investigation report from the Parkridge police officer, which was Detective Skokie. No, hold on. Hold on. Alright, I had the wrong one. This is Detective Marino with the Skokie Police Department. Alright. And I had to take a screenshot because I can't zoom in and out like I want to. So this was for the security guard, I believe. Let me double check that before I get into it too deep. Alright, no, this is the night manager. And he was with the Skokie Police Department, Detective Marino, who wanted to do this independent photo lineup, if you will. Which doesn't make sense from jump, because you are a police station. Why could you not do your own photo lineup? Who calls in another agency to do a photo lineup? Like, I don't understand that. That threw me for a loop to begin with. But regardless, they did it. So they called this detective in to do this photo lineup. And he did an incident investigation report, which we're going to look at here. Agency name, Skokie Police Department. Location of incident, 7700 Kilbourne Avenue, Skokie, Illinois. That's their police department. Then it says premise type, other residents. Because remember, this night manager, they called him, Detective Marino, to his residence to do this. Which is interesting as well, because they also stayed on the scene, mind you. So they just picked up the phone, called the Skokie Police Department, and said, hey, we need to get somebody over here to do a photo lineup. You got anybody available? And they immediately send Detective Marino over there. Like, that just sounds, it just smells funny. I'll just say that. The date was 9/19/2017. That was the date and time reported. 9/19/17, 11/29, which was on a Tuesday. Last known secure, 9/19/2017 at 11:05 Tuesday. I don't understand that. And at found, 9/19/17, 11/29 Tuesday. Alright. Weapons or tools, none. Assist other agency. Alright. That's what they're terming this thing. Number of victims, 0. It lists Detective Coletsos Jr., because he's the one that's requesting this, and he's with the Rosemont Police Department, 9501 Devon, and he is a detective. Alright. And it's got their phone number, 847-823-1134. Now, you go down here, and there's nothing typed in here anywhere, except they've wrote in handwriting, Skokie Lineup Supplement, or SUP. Alright. At the bottom, the officer's name is S. Marino, Field Investigator, 4015. And it's printed by him as well. S. Marino, sorry. Case status. It just says 9/19/17. Supervisor, J. H. Barnes, Field Investigator, 0366. 9/19/17. Alright? That's the first page. The second page is a blank sheet of paper, which is the back side of that first page. And you can see the marker has bled through, and it's backwards, but it says Skokie Lineup SUP. And they scanned this into the file. For whatever reason, I will never understand. But they did. They scanned it into the images file on the Rosemont website in the Kanika Jenkins death investigation folder. Alright. And they have this incident report additional name list. 33-year-old white male. Date of birth is redacted, of course. Name is redacted. Employer, Franklin Superfood and Liquor, Franklin and Kedzie, Chicago. And it's redacted his phone number as well. Alright. And here is the second page of that incident investigation report, which contains nothing. I mean, there's nothing on here other than a case number. There's nothing else wrote on here. Alright. But it just says Skokie Police Department at the top. And bottom. Then we got this narrative here, which is a reporting officer narrative. Skokie Police Department. Offense, assist other agency. It's got an OCA number, a date and time, Tuesday, 9/19/2017 at 11:29 a.m. On 19 September 17, I met with Detective Coletzos and Detective Ruth Schanfiker from the Rosemont Police Department at 7734 Kilbourne to assist them with a photo lineup. They requested that I administer the photo lineup as an independent administrator, since I had no knowledge of the investigation. That blows my ever-loving mind, but that's so strange. I mean, you guys are the investigators. Regardless. On 19 September 17, at approximately 11:05 hours, I administered 4 photo lineups to blank in regards to a death investigation. And it shows the case number, 2017-24677. I used e-lineup software provided to me by the Rosemont Police Department to conduct the photo lineups. So they wanted him to do these lineups as an independent administrator. They also supplied him with the software to do such. I swear. Blank answered prompts in the e-lineup acknowledging that he understood the questions. Blank was unable to select any of the subjects in the photo lineups. For a complete account, the video and audio recording should be viewed in its entirety. Okay, so once all was said and done, this gentleman, the night manager, could not identify anyone. Alright. I think it said 4 separate lineups. Alright. Couldn't identify anyone in those photos as being someone that they recognized from that night. Further, it says that they have video and audio recording of this entire process, which they did not include in the files, of course. I mean, is anybody surprised by that? I'm just being real. Is anybody surprised that they didn't include the video and audio of this whole process? Alright, moving on. That's all that's on this page too, by the way. The next report is from the Parkridge Police Department. Now, this is the security guard, alright? Okay, so we know that the security guard went to the actual police station to do this. And he went to the Rosemont Police Station. Let's clear that up. This is a report, the same incident investigation report that they did on the night manager. However, this is the Parkridge Police Department, because that is who this gentleman was dealing with. Not Skokie this time, but Parkridge. Agency name, Parkridge Police Department. It's got a case number. Date and time reported 9/20/17 at 10:20 a.m., which was a Wednesday. Last known secured, whatever that means. 9/20/2017, 10:20 Wednesday. At found 9/20/17 at 10:20, which is a Wednesday. Premise type, government or public. They're at the police station, so of course. Incident, assist other department. Alright. This time there's no detective requesting this, but we know who it is that is requesting that this be done. Where before, Skokie had listed Detective Coletsos Jr. there. Now, in the property section, they have hand wrote Parkridge lineup sup. Trying to make that where you can see it. Parkridge lineup sup. Alright. The officer who did this is Stephen K. Tracy. So Tracy is the last name. Number is PR for Parkridge 12075. Okay. That's all that's on that page. Second page of that report is completely blank. Other than just stating Parkridge Police Department at the top, there is nothing else contained on that page. Other than a case number, my bad. Got the case number on there. So no other information. Alright, this is their reporting officer narrative. Parkridge Police Department, offense, assist other department. It's got the OCA number, date and time reported. Wednesday, September the 20th, 2017 at 10:20 a.m. In summary, I was requested by Detective Donald Coletsos of the Rosemont Department of Public Safety to administer an e-photo lineup. I completed a total of 4 e-photo lineups on a laptop computer with a subject at the Rosemont Department of Public Safety building. On the second set of e-photo lineup, the subject did not sign in the box on the screen where he was supposed to sign, and I signed in his place. There was no manner to back up the procedure on the laptop. Now note, it doesn't say anything about this being video or audio recorded on this one. And it's awful funny that it doesn't say that, because it also says that they signed, this Detective Tracy, signed for this person. Now you can't do that. You cannot do that. I'm wondering if this person even knows that this detective supposedly signed for him. Because if he was doing what he was supposed to be doing, which is sitting there with him, and he noticed that he didn't sign in the box on the screen where he was supposed to sign, why didn't you stop it then and say, hey, whoops, you missed a spot here? Now come on, man, come on with the jokes. No police officer should be signing for anybody. Period. Period. That's just point blank, period. So, and then it says there's no manner to back up the procedure on the laptop. But you audio and video recorded the night manager, but not the security guard. See what I'm saying? Alright. So, in summary, we can see that Rosemont has 0 technical skills when it comes to doing pretty much anything as far as investigation goes. They are continuously calling in other agencies to do their jobs. You know, they possess this e-lineup software, yet they chose to have 2 other agencies come in and do these. For what? I have no idea. It's not like it's what's the word I'm looking for? Conflict of interest. They are the investigating agency. Why would you not yourself administer these? So, I don't know. I don't know what they were hoping to gain through this, but it's very obvious that these girls purchased this alcohol from this place. Period. That's one thing that has remained, minus Shemaya, that's one thing that is a constant for all of them. Bree, Monifa, and Shemaya, we got to discount that one because I just feel like she lied because her mother was there. She wasn't going to tell the truth about anything. And that's sad. That's sad that they let that go on. I know they couldn't have interviewed her by herself, but What they could have said is, look, let's just cut the BS. This is what we know happened. They did not do that with her. They just let her continue to ramble on and let her mama believe that she was a good girl. But I just wanted to bring this to you guys so that you can see what really happened that night and how Rosemont responded to this, selling alcohol to minors. They really didn't respond at all, honestly. And it's shameful, really, because somebody should have gotten in trouble behind that. So I'm going to leave it at that, but let me know what you guys think in the comments. I appreciate you guys for watching. Have a great day.